the Riot podcast. This is the Thursday, June 15th edition. What is the most fun state in the United States? I'll give you a chance to think for a second if you're viewing or listening to this podcast, and then I'll tell you the answer. It's California.
See, now I would say, let's break down California, right?
California.
You got L.A.
Uh-huh.
Sounds fun.
Yep.
San Fran. Pretty popular,
Fun
pretty fun.
aspects to
You
it.
got the Pacific Ocean, San Diego, the beach. So there's some fun stuff there.
National parks.
Ooh, it has a little bit of everything.
It actually has.
Nature.
You've got the ocean. You've got mountains.
There's mountains.
Desert. Yeah. It's got a lot of it.
It does have a lot.
This is, it's not just us saying California is the most fun state in the nation. This is according to Wallet Hub, and I know what you're thinking. Wallet Hub, fun. But I feel like they actually did a pretty good job here of really taking just about everything into account as they went through and ranked the states 1 through 50 of most to least fun to visit. These are fun states to visit, not to maybe necessarily live in. They took into account basically any kind of thing you could think of as being fun outside of just sitting inside your home. Stuff like restaurants, amusement parks, golf courses, movie theaters per capita is one thing. They also analyzed beach quality, access to national parks, the average cost of going to a movie or getting drinks, stuff like that. They took all of that into account. And with all of that said, California came in as the number one most fun state to visit, followed by Florida, Texas. Florida, Nevada, New York, Illinois. Texas was 7. I jumped ahead there. It's the top 5.
It's one. You want to know what's wild?
What's that?
Is Nevada's ranked number 3.
Uh-huh.
And that's just the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah, what else is going on in Nevada?
Like that's literally California, Florida, Las Vegas, New York.
It's all the big cities. And then Illinois is 5, which
Chicago.
is purely got to be Chicago,
Purely
right?
Chicago.
A lot of restaurants, a lot of movie theaters probably.
All in Chicago.
Did you think that stuff, because they included cost into this thing, you'd think the cost would be higher in those cities. And so you think that would drag them down the list.
It must not be equated that much. The cost factor must be lower. It has to be lower.
All right, now think about this, though. They ranked them 1 through 50, right? So what would you say? You haven't been to all 50 states, but what is the least likely state you would want to visit because you think it'd be the least fun?
I still lean, I would say maybe Wyoming.
Wyoming.
I couldn't name a city in Wyoming. If you live there,
I
apologize for the slander.
There. They have towns.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Wyoming. So for me personally, I would probably say Wyoming. It sounds pretty lame.
I think I could have fun for a little bit in Wyoming.
Doing what?
Like they have the mountains, right? You got the mountains. You got like.
I mean, you could have fun anywhere for a day.
Yeah, I think there's like probably old westy stuff to do in Wyoming. Might be fun. If you wanted to like rustle.
What about you? What do you think would be the lamest state to visit?
Probably like Nebraska.
I knew you were going to say Nebraska.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. For whatever reason, that's what I thought you were going to say.
I just can't think. I cannot conjure up in my mind what I would do in Nebraska.
You
go to a Cornhuskers game.
That's what I was going to say. At least there's a big college there.
Yeah.
Go to a Nebraska football game.
But
that's pretty legendary.
I can do that in like 36 other states too.
Yeah. But I'm saying for a day.
Yeah.
If you went on a Saturday, that could be a fun Saturday.
Yeah. For a week though, what's the least likely state to spend a weekend? It's got to be like Nebraska's got to be one of the options. One of the high options to.
I mean, it's definitely one of the top ones. Yeah. I also agree.
Actually, according to this ranking, I guess I should say Mississippi is ranked the least fun state to visit, according to Wallet Hub.
Mississippi. I couldn't name anything in Mississippi.
I don't know. The Mississippi River.
Oh, true.
You could do like a riverboat gambling trip on that or something, maybe.
That sounds fun.
That might not be the worst idea. I don't know. But the numbers don't lie. Mississippi was the lowest. West Virginia, Delaware.
You want to know what the number one attraction in Mississippi?
What is it?
The Elvis Presley Birthplace and Museum.
Hey, but that's not even the most. Like, if you wanted to see Elvis stuff, that's not even the top thing you would go do, right?
No.
You'd go to Graceland in Tennessee. So yeah, that doesn't say much about Mississippi. Sorry, Mississippi. Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot going on. I'm looking at top attractions in Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
And The Vicksburg National Military Park, Horseshoe Casino,
I respect the military, but
Elvis Presley birthplace.
yeah,
There's not a lot going on here.
not a whole heck of a lot of Mississippi.
Either way.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. Now, I mean, I'm sure your summer vacation is mostly already planned, but if not, California, Florida, Nevada is where you will have the most fun, according to Wallet Hub. Coming up into the show today, we did Choice Champions, where we ranked our favorite superheroes. We also had a good discussion about a bank robber that got foiled in an unlikely way. And
love that.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll do Friday stuff. We'll just have a good time.
We'll just get ready for the weekend. We'll coast into the weekend.
That's right. Catch you next time.
See you guys.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Americans are drinking, and they're drinking a lot. This is a new report just released from the NIAAA. That's the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism. They found that their latest data they have is from the year 2021, where they found in 2021 the average American consumed 2.51 gallons of alcohol throughout the year. And I guess that's understanding, right? That's the percentage of whatever, like wine isn't all alcohol. It just has alcohol in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like if you're drinking like a beer,
yeah.
If it's like 4%,
right?
Then the rest of it's water.
Yeah.
And so we're not counting the whole thing.
Right.
So when you drink one, it's not 12 ounces.
They're calling that. So they put it as ethanol. Or here's another way to look at it. The average American drank 535 and a half standard drinks in a year.
535 and a half.
So that's
almost.
That's like 1.5.
1.5 a day.
Which would be a lot.
1.5 a day.
Would be a lot. And that's the average.
Yes.
They say this is as much as Americans drank. This is the same data. I don't know how they have this data, but they say it's about as much as people drank right before the Civil War started in 1860.
Well, how were they tallying that?
I don't know how much I trust that data. Now here's the they say that that alcohol consumption has gone way up. It's the biggest 2-year increase since 1969. But there is good news. So drinking is going way up. The good news is that we haven't hit our record high for drinking yet.
When was that?
That was back in 1980.
Gotcha.
So we're still not back to that level of when people were drinking a ton, but it is going way up. And so here's my thought on it. Do you think alcohol consumption going up, do you think that it's more a lot of people that going back in time wouldn't have ordinarily drank and now they're like, give me something? Or do you think the people that are drinking a lot are drinking a lot? Like there's the
binge drinking possibly?
Yeah, do you think there's like a group of people like the drunk brothers, and they're just drinking so much it's driving the average up for the average American, even though it's just like 20 people that just can't control themselves?
I don't know. I don't think it's that. It's definitely not that.
You don't think so?
I don't think there's 20 people that are just...
Well, just like you don't think...
I don't think that's what it is.
You don't think it's the 1%ers?
No.
That the 1% is becoming higher and higher and higher?
I don't think so. Because I think the 1%ers have already reached the maximum they can without, like, dying, you know?
Our bodies haven't changed that much since the Civil War. I
don't think we can just all of a sudden consume so much more without death being apparent. But I would say maybe just, like, people... I think it's all been since the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
Because now what are people doing? People are doing things again. And when they're doing things, they're really doing them right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's back on vacation.
And
doing all the things they've been wanting to do, which may, for some people, include drinking more alcohol. And that's how it goes.
Actually, when you think about it, too, not only is it people going out and maybe going a little more overboard if they're going out, but what about during COVID, everybody had to stay at home, right? And a lot of people, I think, that would never ordinarily, that used to be social drinking. I'll go out, I'll have a drink at happy hour or whatever, but I wouldn't drink at home alone or just at home a night on the couch. But then people, I'll get drinks to go because of COVID, drink them at home, whatever. And then they just got used to that. And now they're doing it more often, more at home because it's an option. it became an option for them. So either way, alcohol consumption way up. Some experts are saying it's because these are stressful times.
Oh, give me a break.
It's always a stressful time.
What are you talking about? What's so stressful?
Yeah.
I get inflation, all that jazz. Everybody's always stressed. Every year there's going to be something. What are you talking about?
I mean, people must have been really stressed then in 1980 when we drank more alcohol than ever.
I can imagine 1980.
Yeah.
Like every year there's something. Everybody, you can calm down a little.
Yeah. Well, it's gone up. Let's see how we can do. I mean, that was 2021. Let's see what we can do in 2023. See if we can drop it a little bit.
Bring it down a little.
Yeah. Take it easy.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
You see the story about this 14-year-old boy. He just graduated from Santa Clara University, and now he has accepted a job at SpaceX. You know, Elon Musk's SpaceX. 14-year-old going to be working there.
What's he doing? Like getting coffees? I see he can't drive. He can't even get coffees.
Yeah, that's right.
Is he cleaning bathrooms or what's the deal?
He will be a software engineer.
Doesn't even make any sense.
What do you mean?
How's he? He's 14. What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
He's actually from, he went to Santa Clara University in California. He's from Pleasanton, California, but he and his mom are going to have to move to Redmond, Washington so that he can go to space, like work at SpaceX. And part of that is because in Washington, they don't have the same laws that would prohibit in many other states a 14-year-old from working. So I don't know what his hours are going to look like, but I mean, if he was able to graduate college at 14 years old, he can probably get more done in 20 hours or whatever his limit is than you or I could get done in 40, right?
I mean, he's for sure getting more done than we are.
Oh, yeah. But
I'm thinking if you just recently graduated as like a software engineer from like Harvard, you're probably upset.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
like if
you
you're
say?
22.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say? There's no way that you wouldn't be mad.
Yeah. I was thinking that too, that, you can't be too upset at him, right? Because he's just real smart.
No,
he's a
you can't be upset with him.
He skipped elementary school. And I don't think many of us would do very well if we just skipped right through elementary school.
No.
Our times tables, we'd be lost. But for him, he was able to do that, able to graduate. He started at Santa Clara at like 11 or 12 years old, which is unbelievable. And then he says, one, he doesn't feel like some people would be concerned, right, that you're 14 years old, you finished college, and you're getting a job at SpaceX. What about your childhood? And he says he doesn't feel like he's missing out on his childhood.
Well, he doesn't even know.
Yeah, how could he know now?
He wouldn't know.
But when he's 35 years old, he's going to
be
look
like,
back.
Dang.
I wish I played with more Legos, he's going to say.
Well, because
I wish I rode bikes with my friends.
You get to the point where you're going to work forever, man.
Yeah.
Like me right now, would I love to go back to high school and just mess around? I would love to. Because guess what? Every day, Monday through Friday, I'm going to wake up and go to work, as we all are. Everybody driving to work right now is going to wake up every day and go to work. I don't know why you would want to start so early. I mean, I started at like 23 doing a full-time job. If I started at 14, he has a whole decade on me of having to work more. I wouldn't do it, dude. I wouldn't recommend it. You should just hang out. This is the time of your life when you can just relax, not do all that much. You have no responsibility.
Yeah, imagine if this is why I wouldn't have graduated college at 14 or high school, is because if I did, then I'd be like, sweet, I've got 4 years. I'll live rent-free at home.
Yep.
I got nothing to do.
Hang out, play video games.
I'd probably get bored of that even as a teenager at some point, but then I'd go get a part-time job and mess around. And it's crazy. But that's his ambition. He's just ambitious, man. He also says that the reason that he wanted to join SpaceX in part is because, this is a quote, "It's one of the rare companies that did not use my age as an arbitrary and outdated proxy for maturity and ability."
All right, see if somebody working for him. Like, where's he getting these words
No,
from?
he's smart because he's already graduated
See,
from
my
college.
next question is, do you remember at like 14 years old?
Yeah.
Like the kind of like dumb things that were going through your mind on a daily basis? I feel like, you just can't escape those. Like even if you're super smart, even if you're super smart, even think about the smartest kid that you knew at the age of 14, you were still doing dumb kid stuff.
A lot of the smartest kids I knew at 14 were the dumbest.
Yeah,
of them all.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so no matter what,
That's
you're going to be,
you're
the
like
maturity
dumbest.
level is different, but at the same time, good for him.
It's pretty much your dumbest point in life at age 14.
Yeah,
I
you're
think.
like, it's because you're smart enough to know better, but you choose not to.
You
That's
just
what
haven't
you do.
learned. You're smart, but you haven't learned a lot at that time.
You just want to do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Because
plus-
you're smart enough to be independent, but at the same time, once you're independent, you just start making bad decisions.
I hate to say this too, but I think having a 14-year-old coworker,
Oh, I'd hate him.
I don't think I'd work, especially when he's talking like this.
No, I'd hate
I don't
him.
think I'd do well with that.
Oh, because you would think you're smarter than me. I can already imagine it. If Radio U brought in it.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
How would you feel if your doctor started sending you emojis?
Like flirtatious?
Of course,
flirtatious
you
emojis?
would think your doctor's trying to flirt with you.
I literally opened the article and it was like heart eyes right there.
Oh, yeah? That is there.
Like, what other reason are they sending to me? They sending me like the thumbs up?
It does
Because that's
show-
not a story.
That is, I'm seeing the heart eyes, the face that's like surrounded by hearts, a kissy face.
Yeah. Like if
What
they're
are they
sending
doing
me
here?
if
A
they're
winky
sending me-
face.
Yeah, exactly. If they're sending me a thumbs up, this isn't an article we would talk
I think
about.
if the doctor sends any of those emojis, that is probably problematic.
Any of the heart ones, yes.
Yeah. But researchers are basically advising that doctors now, because now it didn't used to be this way. Fairly recently, doctors are able to start like messaging you, like they have like chart websites or whatever where you can communicate with your doctor about concerns, medical concerns, stuff like that, without necessarily having to call or go in for a visit or whatever. Look at test results, that kind of stuff. Researchers are saying at the University of California, Riverside, believe that if doctors were to start incorporating emojis into communication with their patients, that it actually would be beneficial because emojis are so universal. And so they'd have to help take the edge off of some maybe difficult communication, or just make sure that the right tone was coming across, make sure it doesn't come, because like if you were just to sit there and read stuff your doctor says, it might seem very negative, worrying, even if it's not necessarily where when you're actually seeing your doctor talk to you, a lot of times, what do they say? They have good like bedside manner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's some doctors are really able to calm you and ease your mind, even if they do have to deliver difficult news. If they're able to add emojis in, even though to some it might seem unprofessional, it might take some of the sting off of some of the stuff they even send you in communication.
I think this sounds kind of crazy.
You think so?
I think so. Because I think, like, if my doctor is sending me emojis, like, when they're talking about anything that's going on, I feel like it's just not serious, you know? I'm against.
Yeah, but maybe that's what we need is not to view our doctors so seriously all the time. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if you got the message from your doctor on your website that said, the doctor said, test results are A-OK, and gave a thumbs up. Then you'd know. You're good to go.
I feel like just test results are A-OK, it would be good than just, like, adding in the extra.
Thumbs up?
Yeah, and then the extra. I don't think you need the emojis to convey your point when texting. I think they're just a little addition,
I think it can be helpful.
a little added. But I don't think when you're talking to a doctor, I don't think that's really necessary to have that little extra flair in there. I just want the message, and I'll interpret it as is.
It seems that there could be just as many ways for this to go wrong.
That's
too.
what
like,
I'm thinking.
Like, what if the doctor sends like the upside down smiley face,
And we're really like,
and then you're like, what does that mean?
and we're really trusting the doctors to know which ones to use at the right times. Like, this is just all.
Yeah.
I think the less you can, I think they should just call you. That's what they should do. They should just call you, and they'll be
Leave
better
a
at that.
voicemail.
Leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
Give me a call back. Texting for them is a dangerous idea anyway.
I think the other thing I think about is, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I've had family doctors through life that just really want to make jokes.
Mm-hmm.
They like really want you to not be afraid of them, so they just love making really dad jokes pretty much. And you give them, they can just go wild with emojis. It's going to be,
They're going to send 6
who
of them.
knows what they're going to send.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
We can't trust them like this. I think this is probably a no for me.
I don't know. I'm not a big emoji guy, but I'm open to the idea just because I don't want to be scared of my doctor. If this helps with that, I'm for it.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
73% of people would abandon a brand after just one bad experience.
Seems a bit dramatic, if you ask me.
You think so?
73% of people abandoning a brand, one of their favorite brands, based off one bad experience.
But there's so many brands out there. Why deal with one that hurts you?
Because there's going to be, no matter what brand you find, they're going to treat you badly at some point. So you can just keep on hopping around.
And then you just move on.
Just keep going. I think one bad experience seems a bit dramatic.
If you let a brand treat you badly one time and then you go back to it, you're setting a precedent.
Oh, so you're saying that
they can treat you badly over and over again.
Every time you go through McDonald's drive-thru and they mess up your order, what are they, the exception? It seems like they might be the exception.
That's actually...
BK, exception. Wendy's, exception. Fast food, exception.
You've
Boom.
hit my question, which is, what is a brand that could mess up
Hoses.
a brand you could have a bad experience with, or better yet, a brand that you have had a bad experience with, and you just can't give them up?
Because 100% of people have had a bad experience at a fast food restaurant that they love.
It's definitely fast food.
And they continue to go back. So posers. 73% of people are liars. Look at that. Just got it.
Well, you could also, I can attest to, I have at least one brand that I had one bad experience with, and that was it for me.
Who'd you give up on?
Chipotle.
No, really?
One bad
I think you talked about this.
Chipotle visit where
They ruined it for you, huh?
I ordered online. My food was, I walked in ready to roll. They said, your food's not ready yet. You can go wait over there. I waited. I said, hey, is my food ready yet? They said, no. Waited for a while again. Walked up after, this is about a half an hour. Finally, I say, hey, what gives? Where's my food?
You're telling me you waited a half an hour at Chipotle?
Yeah.
Were you just watching people just go in and out of the line?
Yeah. I mean, I went up to the counter a couple times, and, after about a half hour, I go up and I was like, what's the deal? And he's like, oh, your it's right here. It was sitting on a shelf. They forgot about it. And I asked him a couple times. They didn't know what was going on. I said, no more Chipotle. I said, this is enough. I said, I asked once, and it's not ready. Shame on me. I asked 7 times, and it was ready the whole time, and that's shame on you. That's your fault. And so no more Chipotle for me. But
fair.
But I've had other experiences where I can't give up on the company. I'm sure you could say the same.
Oh yeah, there's many a times where I've had bad experiences at places I love, and I just forgive them anyway.
Such as?
Forgive them. There's a pancake place that I really like that's done me dirty. Done me absolutely the dirtiest.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. There's one time where they messed up all of our paychecks, and I was there for like a half an hour. After I was done like eating, I was like ready to walk out.
Yeah.
And ended up being a huge disaster.
But you worked for the pancake place?
No, I didn't work there. I'm saying after I got done eating, I checked out, right?
Yeah.
They messed up all of our checks, and I was there for like a half an hour
you
after.
said paycheck.
Oh, no,
So
I didn't mean to say paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, I meant like our actual checks.
Okay.
They've done me dirty
that
there.
Sounds horrible.
And I literally went there this past weekend because I still love it so much, and I just forgive them. But there's a bunch of brands that have done me dirty that I can't give up. I can't give up on them, and I'll continue to go back. I don't give up on them easily, I'll say.
I've got 2 good stories of brands that I can't give up on, even though they have done me dirty in the past. And if you've got a good one, 8772 Radio U, a brand, a restaurant, or whatever that screwed you over, but you can't stop going there. 8772 Radio U.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
Let us know a brand that you love, a brand, a company, a restaurant, a store that you love too much to stop going to, even though they've done you dirty a time or two, because we have a new survey here that says 73% of people quit a brand after just one bad experience. D says McDonald's. She's had problems with them in multiple states and multiple locations, as I feel that we all have. But, I mean, it's McDonald's. What are you going to do? You're going to stop going to McDonald's?
She said she tries to avoid it now, which I don't blame her.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of options for fast food. If they do you dirty, take your money elsewhere. Go to Wendy's. Go to BK. Culver's.
Jaden says, I once stayed at a Buffalo Wild Wings for an hour for a pickup order that I never ended up getting because they never printed out the ticket in the kitchen.
Oh, no.
Apparently. And only realized an hour later after he'd been, checking repeatedly about the order. So they were just lying to him.
Oh, yeah.
For
They
an
were just letting
hour.
him go.
They're like, yeah, it's coming.
Oh, I'm sure they're cooking it up back there.
It'll get there.
It'll get here soon.
But Jaden doesn't say whether he has sworn off.
Oh, he's for sure still going.
Buffalo Wild Wings
That's why
or
he
not.
didn't say.
Yeah.
He's embarrassed to admit, yes, I return there every Sunday.
Yeah, or for BOGO Thursdays. This is a famous RadioU story about. I don't think I've told this in a long time. The top restaurant that I can't stop going to. It's a local Chinese restaurant chain. There's like 3-4 locations. We call it around here affectionately cheap Chinese.
Not cheap, a little overrated, but go on.
It's affordable. And one time, it used to be like almost every week I would go there. Me and my wife would get cheap Chinese. And one time, family was in town. In fact, we just passed the anniversary because of Memorial Day weekend a few years ago. And in my crab rangoon, I found something inside. That was what I found to be, after some investigation, a Band-Aid. A folded up Band-Aid inside the crab rangoon, inside the fried wonton. And so that was the end of that for a brief time. But I'll tell you that even as recently as this week, Monday, in fact, I've gone back to cheap Chinese. Usually a different location, usually not that same location, but I've even gone back to that same location. Can't give it up because it's cheap and it's good.
Yeah, I feel like if I get the Band-Aid in there, I'm done.
How many times, how often could a Band-Aid get in a crab
I feel
rangoon?
like one time is too many, though.
It was a one in a million shot.
I don't know if it was. I feel like one time is too many for me. I can't do a Band-Aid in the Chinese. I can't do that.
I can't.
I don't know if I'd be able to see past that.
I can't stop. I haven't been able. I mean, that was years ago, and I did for a while. I didn't go, but for a while now, I've been going.
You're back
and
now.
so far, no Band-Aids since that fateful day. Also, Popeyes. Popeyes is so good. That's more of a thing where it can vary, I think, location to location. But Popeyes locked me out one night when I was in the middle of an order. I was like, "Hold on, let me go pay for it. Let me go. I left my card in the car or something like that." I try to walk back in.
They locked you out?
They locked the door.
Oh, they didn't care.
And the drive-through line, I think that's why they were busy. And they're like, "We don't want any more orders." I was like, "Yeah, but I was halfway through putting the order in. What are you guys doing?"
We're that close.
Yeah.
We're that close.
So close. But you know what? Yet again, Popeyes, real frequent customer for me. I just don't go back to that location very often. Man, it's hard to give up. When the food is good, how are you supposed to stop?
When you like what they have to offer.
Yeah.
Even when they do you so dirty.
It's worth the risk.
You just go back. You go back
As
to it.
Sam Rivera would say.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
It's time for Choice Champions. This is where Isaiah and I draft. We do a little fantasy draft of whatever the topic may be of the day. This time, it's superheroes. We're going to draft between the two of us. We're going to each pick our 3 favorite superheroes. And then it's up to you to decide and text in your vote for whose team is better. We're not doing this. Isn't like we're not picking teams that would win in a fight. We're just picking our favorites.
Yeah, favorites.
So
of course.
You judge which of us has the better favorite superheroes. So get ready at 8772 Radio U. Text in if you've got one that's your fave that we might miss. I get the first pick because you had the first pick last week.
Yes.
And I am going with the number 1 overall pick in the Superhero Choice Champions draft, Wolverine.
Wolverine
Is
going. Ooh, that's a wild pick.
my favorite. I almost said best. That's up for debate, but my favorite, Wolverine.
Wolverine. Now that lets me kind of opens the door for me to take advantage of you here. Now that throws me way off because I was not expecting you to pick Wolverine.
I had somebody I thought I could, with the first pick, I could swipe from you. I thought you would take, but you know what? I'm going straight favorites.
Straight favorites.
I'm not choosing what. I'm not going to try to sabotage your team or anything.
Cater
like
to the
that.
people. That's what. Yeah, I gotcha.
I can only be me.
Yeah, that's
That's
fair.
all I can do.
See, with me, I'm gonna take my first overall pick. We're doing favorite characters of all time.
Yeah, favorite superheroes.
Has to be Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
My number one. I've been out and about how he's my favorite, so I have to take him number one
you gotta
overall.
Gotta be real.
Yeah, I'll be genuine. He's my favorite. Doctor Strange, number one.
I strongly consider taking him at number one. I like how Doctor Strange, I'll give you this, I like how he fights like supernatural beings.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting like floating heads and stuff like that.
And he's just a dog. He's a dog. He's a confident guy. I love Doctor Strange.
He's a good choice. You actually get another pick now.
Oh my gosh, I go back to back.
Yeah, that's right. It's snake
perfect.
draft.
This is
Snake
easy
draft.
money. All right, for me next, I'm going to go Star-Lord.
Star-Lord, really?
Star-Lord, a little bit underrated pick here.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, Guardians of the Galaxy. How do you not love him? He's hilarious. He's the funniest character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. By far, Star-Lord, taking number two.
I don't know if he's the funniest character in his movies.
See, I love Chris Pratt. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy movie just came out. I'm sure you'd love him.
You haven't even seen it.
Huh?
You haven't seen the new movie.
I don't need to see the new
How
movie.
can you
to love
make him your second favorite superhero if you haven't seen the new movie?
Because I haven't had time, Hudson.
Some favorite.
What are you talking about? Some favorites. I just haven't had time to go see it. It's not my fault.
I get I get two picks
You're
now.
gonna question my Marvel fandom.
Yeah, I am.
In the midst of this
It
segment.
doesn't seem like you go out and see.
Why would Hudson, let me ask you this. Why
Yeah.
would I pick Star-Lord,
Uh-huh.
who's not a very popular character, if he wasn't one of my favorites? That
good
make much
point.
sense?
Good
Why wouldn't I
point.
pick Captain America, who's widely loved, or Spider-Man? That would make more sense if I was trying to pick somebody I didn't actually like.
Glad you bring up Spider-Man.
Is that who you're going with?
That's what I'm taking.
Spider-Man,
Which
catering to the people.
I like Spider-Man. I like
like this
Spider-Man a
story.
lot. I like Spider-Man a lot. And you think about Spider-Man, you get all. I think I'm fair in including all the different versions of Spider-Man, whether it's the standard Peter Parker, whether it's Miles Morales, whether it's Spider-Gwen, whether it's. We've seen the Spider-Verse movies. There's now been like 3 different movies that involve Spider-Mans for different universes, and they're all great. Pretty much all of them. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland. They're great. So
Spider-Man's widely beloved.
How can I not pick Spider-Man? And then for my final pick, this is a tough call because I got 3 names. 3 names that I could all go with. I will choose Batman.
Batman.
Batman will be my final
Wow.
choice.
This is a versatile group you've got going here.
I do.
Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a tough crew there.
A little basic.
That's super
I'll
basic.
even
I mean,
admit,
that is
but-
super basic, but because my list sounds crazy now.
Yeah.
Because
You
I've
have
got Doctor Strange
and Star-Lord.
I mean, I'm just going my favorites. Like, these are just my favorites. That's a list of just, if you listed the 3 most popular characters in just superheroes ever. That's that list
Well,
right
I'm gonna
there.
win.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
tough list to beat. So I'm gonna go ahead and just run out
Yeah,
with
finish.
who's my third favorite now, because there's no chance that's wild. I'm gonna go with Rocket
Really?
Raccoon.
Rocket
If I'm
Raccoon.
doing my favorite
That is
characters,
wild.
I'm gonna list my favorite characters,
Yeah.
and 2 of them are in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's my favorites.
All
What do
right.
you want from me?
Who did we miss? Who should we have drafted? And,
we'll do some
more
honorable
importantly,
mentions up next.
More importantly, who wins? Who has a better team? Isaiah's team, Star-Lord, Doctor Strange, and Rocket. My team is Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Batman. 8772 Radio U.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
We're doing Choice Champions. Isaiah and I have each picked a team of superheroes. It's not who would win in a fight. It's between the superheroes. It's just which team do you prefer? Which one tickles your fancy? 8772 Radio U. You can text in your vote. For me, my team is Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Batman. Isaiah's team is
Star-Lord, Doctor Strange, and Rocket.
Yeah. And so the votes are pouring in, as well as people suggesting ones that we missed, like Jaden, who says that Isaiah has a cooler team, and we missed Deadpool.
Miss Deadpool.
He also says my team would win in a fight.
I mean, your
I think
team would
it's
destroy me in a fight.
Yeah, indisputable. Jason says Hudson had me at Wolverine. Jason says that. That's all I needed.
Hudson had me at Wolverine. Did we consider the others?
Doesn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Ryan says that got to go with Team Rocket. He's going with you.
Team Rocket, I love it.
Todd also going with your choice. He loves the Guardians of the Galaxy. Chad says that he's going with me, the HUD father, because of Batman and Spider-Man. The old classics, the tried and true. Beth says my favorite is Guardians of the Galaxy, so going with you.
Love the Guardians. The Guardians are such a fan favorite. Everybody loves the Guardians.
Leah also going Team Isaiah, and I like Dee's text. She's going with Isaiah, and she says her three are Captain America, which we did leave out, although we mentioned.
Yeah.
Star-Lord, and Kim Possible.
Kim Possible.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the most underrated superheroes of all time.
Kim Possible is great.
I love that one.
How has Disney not made a live-action remake of Kim Possible?
See, that should come back.
Yeah.
So was there anybody else that you were considering that you didn't toss in?
Yeah, for sure.
Who were some of the considerations?
I would, like I said, I would have strongly considered Doctor Strange if you didn't take him with your first pick.
Yep.
I also really like Daredevil. Was a close call with Batman. They're very similar. Both don't actually really have powers per se, but just real cool fighters. Also, the Punisher.
The Punisher.
I like the Punisher a lot. And I considered Wonder Woman as well.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you know what really gets me with the Wonder Woman is I haven't liked the more recent portrayal. Not that I dislike the portrayal of Wonder Woman in the new movies. I just didn't like the movies as much. So maybe that knocked Wonder Woman down a little bit for me.
See, some of the ones that I had considered, one that I had considered that would have been wild is if I would have just tossed Baby Groot in and just had the Guardians of the Galaxy as my favorite.
You could have just done that.
I could have tossed Doctor Strange to the corner and put up absolutely no fight and went with Star-Lord, Rocket, and Baby Groot.
Yeah.
And just went for the cuteness factor there. I also considered Wanda. I love Wanda. I mean, come on now. The Olsen twins, how do you not lean that way?
She's not one of the twins, but she is brutal in the new, the latest Doctor Strange movie.
She's a monster.
She's a monster, yeah.
I thought about her. I thought about Thor as well. And then Iron Man were the four that I were considering.
Chad suggested we do in the future a villains draft. Maybe Scarlet Witch will be in the Wanda could be in the villains draft.
I guess she could be.
She'd be
she could
worthy
be a back and
contender,
forth.
a worthy
Back and
contender.
forth. She was a heck of a villain in that last Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah. Well, a lot of votes came in. I am going to declare myself the winner as the host, but
whoa,
clearly
that was pretty close.
But it was a close call. Choice champions.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Sometimes life just isn't fair. One moment you're a successful bank robber. The next moment, everything gets taken away from you. Not by the police, by another thief.
Oh, a thief-on-thief crime.
Yes, that's exactly what happened to a guy named Alan Duncan. He's from Minnesota, but he had traveled over to Chicago. He successfully robbed the something credit union, got away with it, made it back to Minnesota unscathed with whatever he stole from that credit union. But then he returned to Chicago to try to rob another bank 10 days later. And that's when it all went wrong.
Got greedy. You get greedy.
Uh-huh.
You win once. You get out of there.
Yeah, right.
You try to go back, double up. You're doing too much now. You got your one win. You need to take that.
You're asking for trouble. He went back to Chicago. He was trying to rob another bank. And as he tried to rob the other bank, at some point along the way, according to, this is what he told his brother allegedly, someone stole his getaway car with the money inside it.
Oh, no. Like from the last time or from like the new one?
I'm unclear on that based off of the story because it doesn't seem like he successfully robbed a second bank. So I believe he robbed the first bank, for some reason left the stolen money in the car for 10 days, and then the getaway car got stolen from him.
That's karma.
It came back to bite him, yeah.
That's definitely karma. You would think that after getting the first win, bringing that money home, you would have at least taken it out of the car. I mean, come on.
I mean, maybe he took some of it,
But not all of it.
Or do you think this is a story to try to get away with it?
I guess it could be.
You think it could be like an alibi? That
He's like, well,
hey,
I don't even have the money.
might
It
as
got
well not-
stolen from me.
Yeah.
It's almost like I didn't rob the place at all.
And if you can't find the money on me, you can't prove that I even robbed this bank, can you?
That's true.
It could be a tale of that kind. But however, apparently he's been arrested. Investigators have successfully tracked down the car that he was using as his getaway car. So the car has been found. However, I don't think they've. It doesn't sound like they've found the money.
Oh, it sounds like maybe the other robber, a little smarter, took the money out of the car with him when he left.
You want to talk about the perfect crime? Robbing a robber.
That's smart.
Stealing a getaway car.
Because you know that like he can't really like call.
Yeah, what's he?
What you gonna do? Somebody stole my car that has all my money in it.
Somebody stole my stolen car.
My getaway car. I'm in the middle of doing something right now, actually robbing another bank. But if you could try to track down my car, that'd be great. There's a bunch of money in there, like a ton of money, a ton of stolen money.
Yeah,
that they took
that
from
I'd
me,
like to have back.
That I would like to be returned to me because it's mine now.
Man, he got double crossed.
That's a good crime. And what's crazy is I just am shocked that he went back and tried to go again. I mean, the rush of it all. What's wrong with you? But also, I Googled because I wanted to know.
And, well, I also before you say that, I just think if you rob a bank once, if you aren't getting enough from a bank robbery for you to like live off of, then it's not worth it.
It's a bad plan.
Yeah,
you should easily.
If you're getting like $1,000, it's not worth it.
That's something you need to do one time. Like you need to go in there, get as much as you can, so you never have to do it again. But so I Googled. I was like, what percentage of bank robberies like work? Right?
Yeah.
It says 60% get away.
Sheesh.
That's it says it's one of the highest rate of robberies of like the higher crimes that you actually can get away with. Don't let that tempt you, though.
Giving me a lot to consider.
Don't let
here.
that tempt you. But I mean, clearly it wasn't enough for him
it's
to go off
better than a 50-50 shot.
I guess it is. I mean, flip of the coin, you might get out of there.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Why is it that according to the International Air Transport Association, unruly passengers on flights have been going up? Incidents where badly behaved passengers are going through the roof, according to the recent data. In 2022, there's actually more unruly passengers than in 2021, a 47% increase year over year. What gives?
I don't get it. You would think at this point in time we would all have some good etiquette on being able to go on planes.
Yeah.
But no.
I would think you would really, you'd think in 2021 would have been one of the top years for unruly passengers. You're thinking about people are still on edge, after COVID. There was mask mandates and the people didn't want to adhere to coronavirus protocols, all that stuff that was still, especially in the airline industry, continuing on into 2021. By 2022, we really left that all behind. So what were people fighting about with their flight attendants in 2022 that made the incidents rise by about 50%?
Yeah, it makes no sense because you would think yet again our airlines, like it's becoming more affordable to fly, right? A lot of people can fly now. Before, like years and years ago, nobody flew, everybody drove, right?
Yeah.
And so now everybody's been on a plane. Everybody knows how it works. You would think that we would have figured it out.
Yeah.
Like everyone would know how to act on a plane.
It's upsetting, but you just, it's better to be silently upset and just have the airline basically spit in your face and get to where you're going after you paid all that money than to raise a ruckus and get thrown off and then be banned from flying potentially for who knows how long.
They should be banned. You should be banned right away if you're bad on a plane. No matter what you did wrong, you're banned. I'm tired of it. And you know what else is ridiculous? What I think is crazy is something else that we've talked about on the show before. It's like airplane etiquette just going out the window. The people at the back of the plane rushing to the front when the plane stops. Like what is going on? Do people just forget how it works? The entitlement on airplanes is crazy.
That could be. You go a couple of years without flying, and all of a sudden you forget how it works. You forget what you're supposed to do.
It's wild.
Now,
I just can't believe it.
I can see some maybe scientific-minded person coming in here and saying, well, there was more flights in 2022. The flights obviously the amount of scheduled flights 2020 to 2021 went up a little bit. But then 2021 to 2022, way more people are back to flying.
Mm-hmm.
But this is on a per flight basis. 1 in every 568 flights had an incident in 2022 versus 1 in every 835 in 2021.
I'm thinking we need like a brig.
A
on an
brig.
airplane.
That's a good idea.
See, but the thing that's crazy to me as well is like if these people are willing to act out on the airplane and just be a total embarrassment to themselves, they clearly don't care. Because I would say like public embarrassment is a great way to punish somebody, you know? But these people don't care. They're going viral online. They just do not care. Their neighbors are going to see the way they're acting. They're just, yet again, the entitlement is just wild. It's crazy.
Yeah. I like the brig idea. I do. Because the alternative currently is usually like duct taping.
Tape them up.
Yeah.
Tape them up. Tape them up. That's crazy.
If we just have a brig, I think that'd be I think that's actually a good idea.
That way we don't have to go through the whole like taping process.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of
everybody needs to
that.
deplane or whatever.
The brig.
Yeah.
Put him in the brig, which also happens to be the bathroom. Sorry.
Well, then what are we all supposed to do?
Yeah, but that's how it goes.
Hold it.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot.
This show only exists because of support from listeners like you.
Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.